The next thing I really recall is counting aircraft as they went over in V formation, coming back from Germany, having bombed the place to bits. And you could count the planes that had been shot out of the sky by looking at the V formations. And that's how I learned to count. It wasn't until years later that I discovered I was counting dead people. I like a nice cup of tea in the morning. I like a nice cup of tea with my tea. And when I go to bed, there's a lot to be said for a nice cup of tea. I'm going to have my Patum Paparium, the gentleman's relish, which I first discovered in Fortnum & Mason's. I saw Liberace buying it. I thought if it's good enough for him, it's good enough for me. I shall go upstairs in a minute and have a shave. That's how I start my day. Always keep a clean front. I'm an actor. Bruce Montague is my name. And if you're of a certain age, you might remember a television sitcom called Butterflies, in which I spent 5 years chasing Wendy Craig and being a very unsuccessful lover. Story of my life, really. Now, I don't have any ambition to do Shakespeare anymore. What I would like is to complete one really good novel. Now I've matured enough in age to be able to write and make money out of it. I've got a couple of books out already. Catch That Tiger, which I wrote with a friend of mine who's now dead, unfortunately, Noel Botham. Catch That Tiger. And then more recently there's been a book called The Royal Useless Book of Information. Totally useless, but quite amusing. I didn't do at all well at school. In fact, I did very badly. I don't think I got any GCEs or anything. And I went off to work in a building site, Clacton. And somebody I was working with, I was digging trenches or something, and somebody said, "You look like an actor called Lawrence Harvey." I made it my business to have a look at him. And I had a sort of superficial resemblance to him. So I went back to my English teacher, who had been an actor before the war, and I said, "How do I become an actor?" And he said, "Well, you've got to go to a drama school, I suppose." So he sort of coached me into getting to RAD at the Royal Academy of Dramatic Art. If I met her on a gravestone, isn't that strange? We used to go out in between breaks and learn our lines sitting on gravestones. And that's where we met. And that's probably where we'll die. No, my wife does not choose my daily outfit. She sometimes chooses my shirts, and I will then quite often throw them away. I'm very particular about what I wear, yes. Clothes make the man, definitely. Always go out every morning as if this is going to be the great day of your life, and treat it as if it's going to be the great day, the one day that's going to be wonderful for you. And one day it will be. I have had a happy marriage, but of course there have been rough patches. Everybody has to have, particularly over 51 years. You can't expect it all to be sweetness and light the whole time. But when you're old, I think every little romantic gesture helps. I'd never been in a bus until I came to Brighton, basically because I just don't know where to get off. No, I've never had my own chauffeur. I've thought about it, but I don't travel around as much as I used to. It's one of the first theatres I've ever worked in, and that's going back to the very early, probably 1960, 61, something like that. Long time ago, 53 years ago. I suppose I've done 20, maybe 30 plays here over the years. I've got many happy memories here, not only of the plays, but the people with whom I was working. It does give you the feeling that we're all obviously here for a very short time, make the best of it. I dragged myself up from nowhere, an autodidactic existence. I've read everything I can to try and improve myself. Everything about me is false in that sense. This isn't my real accent. And I made a pretty good living for myself. Now, Montague isn't my real name. I mean, I have no idea what my real name is because I don't know who my parents are. Thank you, Darren.
Thank you, sir. My pleasure.
Yes, I'm looking at all these dead actors hanging on the walls. I've worked with nearly all of them. But I think with all of them, I think I probably killed them. Oh, yes, I know them all. Horrible, isn't it? Chairs. Yes, I totally believe in fate. I don't think you can fight what's preordained. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen. It's there, it's written down. I don't think, you do what you do what you can, but it's preordained. I'm not saying there's a God, because I don't believe in God, but there's something in your psyche that makes that happen. In a way, you can't change your life because you don't know what's to change, do you? It just is there.
That was my grandmother. It's coming back.
30 years of fucking. 30 fucking years. And all the men and women, lesbian and queer. Cheers.